Ho ho everybody, it's your Wonderful Wind Mage, your cruise ship servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service now. I hope everybody's doing well. It is the start of a new month, August 1st, 2025. And what feels like almost like a video game season changing. It was cloudy all day, it was like a cool 80-ish degrees instead of like the 97s that I've been dealing with for the past 2 months. Look, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm really just here to do exactly so, video editing, as I'm going to yap all night tonight. So, first and foremost, I just had a big dinner, so let me take a sip of water. As I felt myself kind of burp right there for a second. But yeah, I've got a big backlog that I need to work through right now, just if I pull up my upload schedule real quick, when it comes to it. Oh, bro. There we go. When it comes to it, I've got a lot of work that I need to get onto. Just first and foremost, actually, on auditing stuff, I need to duplicate the sheet and make this my August sheet. August 25. You're not going to see this all immediately, but yeah, this is going to be a working stream tonight, and I'm just going to get the chat or so. So, let me do some backstory on this stream as well when it comes to it. This stream was made with the idea of using it as part of my extension of my 25th of my 5th anniversary celebration on the 24th that I was trying to say right there. What that all pointed out to be is that on the 24th, I had a little bit of a raffle. That was kind of like half of a joke, but half serious when it comes to it. On some, if people type in the little redeem codes I parodied off of the Genshin special programs, then I would have something to give out on that side. And the reward, after I spun a wheel, was on my next big editing stream. I'd have it, like, whoever wants to will basically have 2 hours of free reign of getting to choose what Cruzy talks about in all of her yap streams and everything like that or so. And well, here we are now. I'm here to yap, and Rita won the raffle when it came to it, so I got a lot of icebreaker questions, which I'll go on about, and I'll put at the bottom of the screen like I do with my other yapping streams, so I don't get stun-locked immediately onto it, because otherwise, it's just going to be me putting out all of the stuff when it comes to it right here. VOD. Just chatting. Uploading all of my stuff that I have planned all on the side for what I got going on. I have like a million Deadlock VODs that I can have alternating on my B slot, quite frankly. I can have that just kind of going on right there when it comes to it. And I'll just keep working through it. First and foremost, let me clear my back ledger, because by the end of today, I shouldn't have anything slotted in. And I need to do my usual auto check on it. So let me look at series that I'm still keeping up when it comes to this point here. OS, I'm probably actually straight retired from OS. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. So I think I might just actually take that off of that series block. Misty's absolutely is always gonna be part of it. Lost Branches there, Celeste, I'm pretty much done with that too then, so I can kind of take that around and off. I can probably condense a few things out on my little thing right here. My little side widget that I have. On my consistent stuff though, I need to probably move this up a bit and reroute things. Retired series. I only have my stuff for it to be at 4 p.m. when it comes to it at this point here, so I'm not gonna have any more. Also, this is very outdated on my own side to keep things up, because Kubanachi's over and done with at this point. Mystias will always be right here when it comes to it then. Monster Tower Defense is new series. Otherwise, I can probably have Teamfight Manager slotted into my 4 p.m.s is what I'm thinking. Probably a good idea to have from this point on, because I could have that on and off with Deadlock then, when I get back to it and do a upload schedule like this, if I keep my VODs up. It's either that, or that can just fill the space between my VODs. Yeah. And then whatever Uma posted I want to do in that side. Alright, this is what I like to do at the start of every month of mine, quite frankly, to get my bearings together. See what series I have been doing, see what series I haven't been doing, and just really catch up on my own self-upkeep when it comes to it then, on that side. And well, we'll really just see what pans overall in that case for how everything works out. Because right now, I've got a lot of like videos to schedule for upload and everything like that, and just going on from that too. Also, I can probably actually go ahead get just chatting sorted in here as well. I probably actually put it between the deadlock VODs. And already, let's say if I'm gonna do 4 hours, that's gonna be 4 in between in that case then. So I can just slot that around, and that'll be perfect then for me. Okay, good on the side. I need to get the VODs out for Mystias, and then get all of that prepared, and then I have a good log for how August is gonna go. Okay, great stuff, great stuff. So, let me pull up what list of questions Rena got. Rena, you said that you have boring stuff for Card Faker once again. Anything when it comes to for Icebreaker questions isn't bad at all, quite frankly. It's really just, you know, an icebreaker. And it gets me going on to what I'm gonna yap about as I like to do my busy work. Because, you know me, I can absolutely multitask and just kind of shoot off at the hip for whatever is needed to, whatever I need to say and everything like that or so, right? But I should also ask, how are y'all doing today? Hope everything's going well. Hope y'all were doing alright. Hopefully not too bad of a... I was about to say Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. Not too bad of a Friday. I'm so tired. I wish it was Sunday, because then Monday I have off when it comes to. But first question that came from Retta on her list is, how did I get into cosplay? I should also probably like center this and probably shrink it a little bit as well too. No, so let's make it like not Ariel, quite frankly, because Ariel is boring. Let's do this plantain here. There we go, that'll be good. I want to shrink it a little bit though. Let's make you size 70. Perfect, now that fits in. Nice and cool, like you said, hopes a lot. Oh, absolutely. I had so much more energy at the beginning part of my day, but then at the very end, I will be honest, I was kind of sputtering on fumes, so I was falling asleep at my work desk. Absolutely so. I could have fallen asleep way sooner if I wanted to at that point, but we're neither here nor there. But for now, let me get this, let me get my upload schedule up. And let me get this for the thumbnail real quick. I think this will be a good thumbnail cap. So let me drag my Chrome tab here. There we go. Good reaction when it comes to it. But yeah, Reddit's first question was, how do I get into cosplay? And this is something that was brought up and around from a DM conversation that we had, which is where Rena was just kind of being polite, asking like how comfortable it is to like refer to me and call me and everything like that or so, and my response was, you're honestly really fine, sister, because I've been in the cosplay business for like I've been a VTuber now for what is 5 years of my career overall on the internet online. I've been a cosplayer for I'd say a good 8 years instead when it comes to it then, because yeah, if I count my time, yeah, like, at least for like actively posting like cosplay and whatever stuff like that or so, it's absolutely been a lot longer. Let me route around my downloads. This will be just chatting VOD 8125 stream. There we go, good on that side. But because of that, but I've been cosplaying for a lot longer, and when it comes to it, then it is absolutely spurred on from the fact that I have always loved gaming. Of course, I've been playing video games ever since I've been a kid, and I feel like me being a theater kid nerd, whatever stuff like that, really gave a good juxtaposition on what was ways that I could be enamored and also replicate how cool it was. Yeah, as a little kid during like Halloween or whatever, I dressed up as Mario and whatever, or like thanks to my mom and dad's help and such like that. And it's not really to say much that that's like cosplay in general. It's more of that's just Halloween costuming, I guess then. But the better way for me to put it is that my first real foray into cosplay was when we had a local convention in the area or so. I think some of my earliest stuff was so it was me getting galvanized into doing Fire Emblem cosplays by my friend group, because Fire Emblem is my favorite game franchise of all time, and I wanted to do a character that I resonated with, so much so. So back during high school age, that was when Fire Emblem Fates had come out on the 3DS. And the big thing that I really enjoyed out of it was one character in particular, Shigure, son of Azura. Matt Mercer voices him, and also Lost in Thoughts All Alone when it comes to it. I loved him so much, and one artist that I followed, their name is Flamingo Punch. Let's see if I can look them up. Flamingo Punch Fire Emblem Shigure cosplay. Well, first and foremost, Flamingo Punch, the artist, has done a lot of has done a lot of work with a lot of Shigure fan art and everything like that or so, but I'm pretty sure it was them that did a cosplay of Shigure in his in a Kinshi Knight outfit that I remember seeing them make like a blog post tutorial on or something like that, that I'd have to dig through my memories of if I can find even that one. The main thing is that inspired me to want to cosplay him myself in his base outfit, and now fast forward to where it is now. I've cosplayed him in base, in performing arts, and in the Kinshi Knight. If I type in Kinshi Knight. Well, point still stands. I got inspired by a famous artist and cosplayer when it comes to it on that side, and that galvanized me into making my first ever cosplay, and I started to make my first docket back then. I remember it was Shigure. I did Lyren from Ruby, because we had two Ruby voice actors that were going into town. It was voice actor Blake and I can't remember Blake's VA. Oh, darn it. Well, I'm exposing how Aaron Zach. I said it before it popped up. Aaron Zach, and then Jen Taylor, voice of Pyrrha, Nikos, were in a convention, and I thought that was gonna be great. I'm gonna get to dress up as a character from the series and have them sign my stuff or so. It was cool. So those were my first two cosplays that I ever did from series that inspired me so much, so much early on in my life. That being, of course, once again, Ruby and Fire Emblem. But Fire Emblem first. Ruby was, I was a big fan of Rooster Teeth at the time, and then Rooster Teeth in the anime. Oh my goodness gracious. It's a match made in heaven and everything like that. Can you believe? So that was the first ones that I did, and both of them were both from the love of series and creators. I love Fire Emblem, of course, and that was a way for me to showcase that love with how I dressed, with getting to do a photo shoot with a bunch of my friends. And then Ruby was out of a passion of one of my favorite companies of all time, Rooster Teeth, back when they were still cool and nostalgic and, weren't blowing up at the seams and everything like that or so. But then again, there's also when when Monty was still around for Ruby at the time. And, well, we see how things have gone, but that's, once again, neither here nor there, unfortunately, at the end of the day. Alright, Tower Defense 4, if I click that real quick. Let me make sure that everything is ending up in the correct place as well. Okay, we're good on this end. But that was what got me into cosplay, and then it just kind of continued to blossom onwards from there. Because the main thing is that cosplay has always been a passion project, to be able to become your character for a day or so, dress up as them, be as cool as them, wield their weapons, or whatever stuff like that or so. Quite frankly, I find it the most sincere way that you can take imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Like that wording and everything right there to its maximum. Clickbait thumbnail. Because what better way to showcase your love for a series than getting to dress up as this character who, you know, wouldn't exist, like, is like, you know, absolutely just a fantasy character, wouldn't ever exist otherwise if not for the series' own, you know, popularity existence, and getting to embody them for a day, getting to showcase, like, both your skills as a crafter, as a content creator, or so, promoting yourself in whatever way that it might be, and getting to connect with other people in the same fandom, whether they're dressed up or not, or so. It's a love letter to how inspiring you can be as an artist in a way. Because of course, I'm costuming arts, compared to traditional arts or so. And I find that I have some of the most passion and some of the most fun with getting to showcase ways that I can spark inspiration in people. Be it having them take my picture when it comes to it overall, or doing like even like funny things like little skits and everything like that, or so along the lines. Because the big thing about it is that whenever I'm doing my cosplay, I absolutely do so much work to promote myself, and I say promote myself, but like to promote myself and the character that I am. I try to learn, like for like Shigure, I learned Lost and Thoughts All Alone, both in English and Japanese, because I loved it so much. I learned how to do magic, like actual card tricks and magic metaphor stuff like that for Emma from Eternal Returns, because she's a magician. I at least asked how to. Sorry, getting a picture for the thumbnail. I at least asked how to wield a bow properly from some of my friends who actually know how to use bows for all of my characters that use bows. I practiced character poses. I practiced their mannerisms, their idle actions. I practiced phrases that they did or so when it comes to it. And of course, for lots of them, I made their weapons true to form as best as I could when it comes to it. Be it making my own 3D printed bow that's 7 feet tall for engaged Lin when it comes to it, or also like just doing whole weird things like making Flandre's wings, which are a good 10-pound backpack that is fully rigged up, engineered, and everything like that by me. Like, oh my goodness gracious, it doesn't get any better than that, than getting to show how creative I can be with my cosplay end, and you know, and quite frankly, do all things that people, it's not cringe toward it necessarily, but rather it's cool to see somebody in character at a convention doing what that character would, in my eyes at the very least, or being, you know, an embodiment. Because what other world, well, in some worlds you'll get to see things at conventions you never see, like, yo, what's Sephiroth doing at the convention Pizza Hut or whatever, but then otherwise you get fun little interactions and everything like that that you'd never get otherwise. Like, I know, okay, the docket from that first convention was 3 outfits. It was Shigure, Iron Emblem Fates, it was Ren, Ruby, and then it's Mare Battlefiore from Overlord, one of our lovely Dark Elves. And on that side of you saying skits too, yeah, one big thing that comes to my mind is, if you've never heard of this series Overlord, think of it in each Isekai series into an MMO game, but the main character basically RP'd as a bad guy, all the NPCs came to life around him, and now he has to keep up that act. Mare is ostensibly a evil character when it comes to it, and in one scene, they braid somebody's legs and drag them out of a room, because they need to get them out of there and kidnap them, to keep it as fun as possible. And I remember, for skits when it comes to it, there was 3 guys, like, remember, I'm 5'2". There was 3 guys who were at least a foot taller over than me, just in a regular gear or so. Like, I remember walking to the arcade room when they immediately, like, it's almost like teen girls all huddled together. They gasped, they saw who I was dressed up as, they ran up to me excitedly and said, like, oh my god, I can't believe you're dressed up as Mare. This is so cute. Can I get a picture? I obliged, of course. It was great. They looked at different things that I had. Like, they were both enamored by the staff that Mare wields. If I'm going to pull this up real quick. My Battlefiore. They're enamored by the staff that I made for Mare at the time when it comes to it. So, yeah, his staff of it just still when it comes to it, if I remember correctly. And I also went to other lanes, such as the little ring that you see right here. This is the ring of Eins Orgon, which is gifted to him. It's kind of like teleportation powers in a way or so. And I painstakingly drew a symbol with like Sharpie marker for the longest of time now. It took me so much time to get it perfected right. And when they saw that, they freaked out. They said, "You did every single detail. I can't get a picture. I need a video." One of them goes, "Can you break my legs for me, please?" So I literally just do that anime moment from scratch. Like, if I look it up, Mario Belfiore breaks legs. Mari's mission. There we go. I'm just gonna keep the audio low or muted or so, but basically, yeah. Mario goes over to like this noble's house or so, asks if they're the most important person in the mansion, and whacks their legs, breaks them, and literally just whacks them with them, breaks their leg, and just grabs them by the hair and drags them out of the room. So I politely knocked this guy's legs. He playfully fell down, let me drag him out of the room as his friends recorded it the entire time, and that's like a poignant memory in my mind when it comes to skits and everything like that or so. And that is such a wonderful thing that inspired, I would say inspired, I was already cosplaying at the time, but that made me love being in characters so much more too. It's also another trend with my Fire Emblem characters too. Every time I've cosplayed a Fire Emblem character, whenever I'm going up to the convention, not even when I have a chance to, not even when I have a chance to enter the convention yet, right? Every time, it's always been on the escalator or when I'm in line to get my badge, I've had people call out to me and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're this character. I need to get your picture or so." And then I always have an incident to where the staff is like, hey, get back in line. You can't get past the barrier. I'm like, "I know, I'm not trying to. Can you guys come over here instead so you can get my picture so I can stay in line?" But it happens every time. And seeing people, seeing the elation and joy in people with how you get to be what could be their dream character overall when it comes to it then is so cool. Or getting to be a character that they would go, "I've never seen anybody cosplay this character," or anything like that or so. It's so much dopamine to be able to not only embody a character that I spent so much time working on, dressing up as, and being able to respect them and showcase my love for the series by becoming them, even if it is for a day. And then having other people get to see that same amount of love, dedication, and fangirl over it, and have every right to fangirl over it. That's what makes cosplaying for me so much. So much. Alright. So, I will say, I was reading your questions on the side, because Rena's questions in order. What got you into cosplay? Talk about your first convention. Okay, yep, I kind of hit those two. Next one. Is there, that's right. Wishful cosplays. So I'm gonna put this, because your question, Rena, was, is there any character that I'd wish that I could cosplay, but don't because it would be too difficult or expensive? Let me put it this way. There's different characters that I'd love to cosplay, but I wouldn't for different means or so. And it's because of a few different reasons. One, I'll put out a few instances. For example, JoJo characters are always on the table for me when it comes to it, as an idea. I could go heavily into the cell shading, kind of for the manga panel, kind of how the Borderlands cosplayers do it if I ever wanted to one day. But on the other end, when it comes to that or so, I also feel like I'd be doing a bit of a disservice, because I want to have the physique when it comes to it of a JoJo's character, if actually build and buff myself up when it comes to it. And it's not a requirement, of course, because once again, for example, I cosplayed Shigure, who is 6 feet tall. I'm 5'2". I'm literally a foot less than him. I'm also, brown boy IRL, not a white guy. when it comes to it. Mara is one of the closest characters around true to form, because they are a dark elf. Nice round short dark elf when it comes to it, so that actually fits me to a T for matching up character and everything like that or so. But point still stands when it comes to it. Body types don't stop people from cosplaying, but I want to be as close as I can potentially, if possible, for my own self-satisfaction. It isn't me saying, oh, gatekeeping, you can't cosplay this character just because. No, it is absolutely a me thing, saying I want to be able to be this character as true to form as possible, and that is me being banal about the details. Because when it comes to it, like, for people who have seen my pictures IRL, you know that my hair is literally Tatooine from Stardust Crusaders. I legit have the Noriaki Tatooine, like, kind of curl hair perfectly. I can just point upwards, dye my hair red, and then I'm actually Tatooine. But on that same side, if I'm gonna cosplay him, I have to bring around, Emerald Splash, which I can just 3D print a few emeralds to do that. But I'm gonna have to also have Hierophant Green to follow me around some way or so for the convention. And that's something that I'm like, I have to do it. This is my standards of prop work and everything like that I have to fulfill. I remember seeing this one JoJo stream Mario was on YouTube one time. That's pretty amazing. But, like, that's another thing of my cosplay, of, like, even if, like, another part of my passion is, like, I want to be able to be memorable and stand out to people for their con experiences. Because on that same vein, if I'm gonna be cosplaying a character, the big thing that I want to be able to do about it all is I want to make my specific cosplay stand out. If there's gonna be a cosplay or so that, like, people will remember out of a con, I want it to be my cosplay that they remember. Okay, August 2nd, because I had the first Tower Defense on July 31st, so August 2nd will be the next one. Gotcha. So that's a big thing about it, of why I'm so big about making props out of my stuff, because, or, like, making props or learning how to, like, sing or, you know, method act a little bit more on that side, because the more that I'm able to embody a character one way or another, sorry, I'm just typing up when it comes to it, the more I feel like I'm both in tune with my own cosplay on a selfish side when it comes to it, and also it helps me stick out from others. Because, for example, like, there's always been the jokes of, like, oh, you're gonna find a million Deadpool cosplays at Comic-Con or so, and everything like that. But at the same time, I want to be the memorable one of, yeah, did you see, like, that Deadpool cosplayer who did XYZ, or did you see that, you know, Fire Emblem cosplayer who did XYZ or so? I want to be remembered for what makes my cosplay stick out. So in a selfish kind of show-offy way, that's a big standard for how I want to operate and really showcase my skills, you know? Monster. Tower Defense. Toby Fox? I still can't wait Toby Fox got to be the first area boss for my Monster Defense series. That's really, really funny. But on that end, yeah, like, JoJo's characters are there. Granted, I feel like Tatooine would be a dream when it comes to it, because he's my favorite Part 3 character. Whole Horse is up there too, not on the Tatooine, because he's actually a main character. Whole Horse right after that. But then, Part 5's Guido Mista from JoJo's is actually somebody I could do on the other end, rather, because I can 3D print Sex Pistols and hang them around me like a necklace, so it solves the stand problem. And technically, he isn't as buff, but I still actually want to get a bit more of a physique when it comes to it than overall is the big thing. Otherwise, other cosplays that I'd love to do, but I don't, but would be too difficult or expensive. More gacha, like, if I was into more gacha games, I say is I'm getting into Uma or so. I would have loved to do more of that stuff. Like, back when I was into Genshin heavily, for instance, all of the huge ass weapons and everything, like, I would have loved to have, like, even though I had no intention to ever cosplay Diluc, Wolf's Gravestone looked so cool, and I would have loved to be able to buy one and swing it around, or just, you know, like, buy costumes like that on that side, quite frankly, because, you know, gacha game costumes, when it comes to it, are so expansive and so cool with how much detail that they have and everything, but it's just way too much. It's way too much on that end or so. I wouldn't necessarily say expensive when it comes to it than otherwise, but I know that. What's a good way to put this? So let me phrase this real quick here. As I also pull my thumbnails up and around here real quick. Need to change my view on this. Oh my goodness gracious. Can I stop getting like, how many, okay, I was about to say, I know that I am, what's his face? I know that I am getting, like, are bots on the uptick right now? Why do I keep getting bots every single day now? It's, like, it's not, I'm not even playing a Toho this time around. It's just bots are just coming by, just on the regular. I'm not going that much in views. I see the stream analytics afterwards now, people. Why are bots being attracted to my channel all of a sudden, quite frankly? Get that crap out of here. Get that crap out of here. Okay. So, cover the JoJo side. Expensive side, expensive side when it comes to it. I want to be able to do more engineering projects when it comes to it. And by that, I mean I want to be able to incorporate more lights and more engineering feats into my cosplay work. Because because my friend cosplay, where I got to do my shining lights and everything like that or so, that was all following a guide, and then afterwards just basically everything engineered by me when it comes to it. Those were battery pads. I know a dream of mine back in college, just because I was so enamored by what's his face, by Overwatch, as I was the big kick craze, everything like that or so, was make a Lucio cosplay, but actually have the music pumping out of, but actually having like full LEDs and everything like that or so, and have the music pumping out of my kit and all, like actually he does in game. But that is something that would be too much out of my pay grade for how much I could, how much my knowledge is. And also, do you know how expensive that stuff can easily get for trying to engineer stuff together, and especially if you mess up parts? That's way more than I would be ever willing to spend on my own side of it when it comes to it. I wish I could do it, but it's not in the cards for me with my budgeting, especially with me on my apartment now. It's just something wishful I could do, but Flan was my first engineering success, and now I want to keep holistically working on to it, but it's a lot of darn hard work, I'm gonna be real with you. Alright, put that out. This one will be on August 10th, in that case, on my upload schedule. Keeping my alternating 2 uploads then. Perfect. I love being organized and having my streaming stuff already settled a week out or so. Isn't it so nice to be organized?